So I made these big financial blunders that were avoidable, and these blunders cost me anywhere between $60,000 to $100,000, whichever way you want to look at it. Could these mistakes have been avoided? Absolutely. But were these necessarily mistakes? Some of them were okay mistakes to make. Now let us dive right into our topic for today. The first financial blunder that I had made, I was very new to making financial decisions. So what happened was that in 2009, in the month of March, I bought a car. At the time, I had already finished my master's and I had got admission for the PhD program. So in that duration, I thought that I'm working at a company, let me just try and buy a car, and that will make my life very easy. Because it used to be 1.5 hour long journey from my home to my school. It used to take around 45-50 minutes by bus to reach the train station. From this train station, it was half an hour ride. Now I wanted to avoid all of that inconvenience, therefore I bought a car. Now I bought a used Toyota Camry car. It was a 1999 model Toyota Camry that I bought in 2009. So it was a 10-year-old car. It was in a very good shape. Now, when it came to purchasing insurance, I thought that, you know what, this is not a new car. Why should I spend too much on very high quality insurance? Let me just take liability insurance. See, when it comes to insurance, there are, let's say, broadly 3 different levels of insurance, if you will. The basic insurance is called liability insurance, which covers the damage that you cause to somebody else. If you're in an accident and it was your fault, then the insurance will pay for the damage that you did to the other person and to their vehicle. Above that is comprehensive insurance, which covers issues such as vandalism, theft. If, let's say, a tree falls on your car, all such issues are covered under comprehensive insurance. Now the third is collision insurance. If you are in an accident, regardless of whose fault it is, whether you caused the accident or the other person caused the accident, your car will be paid for. If the cost of the repair is less than the value of the car, the insurance will cover the repair costs. Or if the cost of the repair of the car is greater than the value of the car, it will be considered total, and then they will pay you the value of the car so that you can go buy another car. That is how this whole system works. Now, I thought that, you know what, it is an old car, I don't make that much money, I'm kind of at the poverty level. Why do I need to buy comprehensive and collision insurance? I will just go with liability. I bought the car on a Friday, and the next Friday I was driving with a friend. We went to a restaurant and then we were coming back home, and I took a left turn without yielding. The reason that I took that left turn was that my GPS told me that take a left turn. I did not even see the traffic properly. See, you are prone to making mistakes if you're a new driver, right? It was a green signal for me to take the left turn, but it was my job to yield. If there is a car coming from the front, I should have yielded for that car. You know what? Let me just show you what exactly happened. So I am the yellow car in this case, all right? See the green signal. So I'm allowed to take a left turn as long as there is nobody coming from the front. And then I took that left turn without yielding, without observing that somebody was coming, and there was an accident. This is how my car looked like before the accident, and after the accident, this is what became of my car. And this is the car of the other guy. Very unfortunate. The other driver was driving a Lexus, and he was the chief operating officer of Delta Airlines at the time. And that's the guy who I crashed into. On 13th of March, Friday 2009, my car was gone. Not just that, I had a few broken ribs. There were no visible injuries to anyone, but I had 4 broken ribs. Now these broken ribs took around 4 to 5 years to heal completely, okay? In fact, for 1 year I used to walk holding my ribs like this, okay? Now, because I had paid $4,500 for that car and I only had liability insurance, I got nothing back. I had saved around $7,000 through my job at the time, out of which I put in $4,500 in the car. And 1 week later, those $4,500 were gone and my car was also gone. Therefore, my suggestion to you would be that always get comprehensive and collision insurance. But more important than that, try and be as careful of a driver as you can be. And also know that mistakes do happen, no matter how safe you think you are. But just one small mistake at the wrong time can cost you so much. Therefore, get comprehensive and collision insurance both, in addition to the liability insurance. After that car had crashed, I did not have a car for 6 months. Again, I had to take a bus and a train to go to work. And after that, I saved some money again and I bought another car. This car, again, I paid $4,500. It was a Nissan Sentra, and that car lasted almost my entire PhD program. No issues there. But before I finished my PhD program, I got a job in Ohio, and my Nissan Sentra was getting really old. Therefore, I decided to buy a new car. Now, I bought a Honda CR-V 2015 model, a touring all-wheel drive, which is the highest end within Honda. My view was that I should not buy luxury cars such as Mercedes or BMW, because the parts of these cars are very expensive. Now, if you take these cars to a dealership, you usually come back with at least $1,000 bill. You will definitely never come home with less than $500 worth of bills. Therefore, I decided to avoid buying a luxury car, but within a normal car, I bought the highest end version. This Honda CR-V cost me $34,000, and at the time I had $0 to make the down payment. Now, if you are a new graduate and if you have a job offer in hand, they usually charge you only 5% down payment, but I did not even have that 5% down payment. Now, what had happened was that Honda dealership was left with only 2 of those Honda CR-V touring models. They wanted to get rid of it. And then when they saw my job offer, they were confident that I would be able to make those payments, and therefore they gave me the car for 0 down payment. Okay, which also meant that I took an entire loan on that car. I had taken the entire car on credit. They gave me 3 months to start making those payments, but I ended up paying $50,000 for that $34,000 worth of car. See, let us take a look at dealership and see how much Honda CR-V costs. And I got a 4-wheel drive touring, which is the highest end and the most expensive model of that. So let us sort it by high to low, and this sounds just about right. This is the model that I got, all-wheel drive CV touring model, $34,000. And because I bought that on loan, I ended up paying $50,000. Now, if I had bought a certified car and not a 4-wheel drive, a 2-wheel drive, I would have ended up paying just around $20,000. Probably less than that, or just around $20,000. I don't think there is anything wrong with buying a new car. Just that if you are interested in cars, if you are really into cars, then buy whatever you want to. But I personally am not into cars at all. Okay, so a new car will give you happiness for a day, a week, a month maybe, but after that, even that new car becomes an old car. So be wise and spend your money on things that actually matter for you. A car is never a life differentiator. Maybe for some people it is. If it is, then do whatever you want. But for me, at least, I don't think it was a wise financial decision. I could have easily saved $30,000 on that car, and I could have invested those $30,000 in a good company. And the third mistake that I had made was that I lived in Ohio for 4 years. I lived in a home that was only about $90,000 worth. Okay, and in those 4 years that I had rented that home, I ended up paying half the cost of the home in rent alone. 4 years later, I have zero stake in that home, and I ended up paying half the cost. Now, if I had bought that home instead, rather than paying all that rent that I was paying, I would have paid only around $300 or so for the mortgage. Now, even though I do not live in Ohio, I could have got that rental money back to me. See, even if you are on a visa, you can always buy property and you can always rent it out. There's nothing wrong with it. And a thing to be remembered is that I was living in Oxford, Ohio, which is a small college town. There are only so many properties for you to buy or rent. You will always find renters to live in that house. And that is where I screwed up. If I had bought that house, I could have easily saved $45,000 to $50,000. Now, adding all these expenses together, I could have easily saved somewhere between $60,000 to $100,000 if I knew what I should be doing. Now, that said, I would recommend that you should not buy a home if your visa status is on the shaky grounds and it could be hard to find people to rent your home. So, evaluate your situation and make prudent financial decisions accordingly. Thank you for watching. Jai Hind and God bless America.